Hi everyone. I am so excited to share this little project with you. I have been talking about making a nature journal and working in a nature journal for the last couple of months, and I've been planning it for even longer than that. So finally, I got it together, and I sewed a little book together with some fabric panels and some canvas, and it is just the sweetest little, I don't know, the best word I can use to describe it is like it's charming. It's not like perfectly cut, or I'm sure perfectly sewn because I did it, but I do like to sew, and I can kind of sew a straight line, but you know. But I just love it, and I think the imperfections just add to its charm, and I'm just crazy about it. It's got some cotton lace ties on the side, and also I've got a little dragonfly charm pinned with a little tag to the front here, and I just love it. I think it's so sweet. And the inside is a cotton with a real tiny print. These are little pink florals, and I just love it. I'm so happy with it. So the pages that I put inside this little nature journal, junk journal, you know, it'll be a combination of a bunch of things, I'm sure, just because it'll be fun to just stick things into. But it's my intention to keep it nature themed for this book. But I used some graph paper, some plain paper. I believe this was some sketch paper. And I've got a few little pockets and things I need to glue down. This was a piece of ledger paper that I dyed. I'll tell you about that in just a minute. This is that tiny graph paper. That's the gray print. And it's real tiny. Little squares inside these 1-inch squares. And then there's some note paper here, some of the bigger 1/2-inch graph paper, and some scrapbook paper that I thought would look really nice in here, and some more gluing that needs to be done there. This is a sheet from a little planner pad where it has the days of the week. The other side, where is it? Starts with here, weekly list, and it's a Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday with columns, and then this one picks up over here on this side, and then there's a little section for notes and goals. The other piece of the graph, another piece, sorry, this is another piece of graph paper. Okay, this is some avocado dyed paper that I created. It's stamped with just some of my stamps, random stamps from my stamp drawers, and I love how the avocado dye is so pretty pink color. I love how that looks. And the ledger paper back here, this ledger paper was like a chartreuse green color, and when I dyed it in the avocado dye, it turned this color. So I thought that was kind of interesting because it kind of looks like a coffee dye. But if you look at the edges, you might be able to see that there's a hint of pink along the edges there. But I thought that was interesting the way that turned brown. So anyway, you know, this is going to be, of course, repeated all the way through here. I loved how this ledger paper had these holes. It's, you know, like for refills of a particular type of a ledger book. And I thought that would be fun to like tie some ribbons or something through there. I thought that would be cool. And then that sketch paper and the small graph paper again. So I am tickled. It has 10 sheets, which makes 40 sides all the way through. So I am so excited to finally be able to get started creating in my nature journal. And I've got a bunch of things piled around me here, and I thought I would put a page together, and I'll be working in this along and along, and I'll be filming this because I just think it's going to be a lot of fun. I don't know what page I'm going to begin with, but I'm going to pick one out and get started working on something. I think I'm going to start with just the front page here. And oh, I didn't mention earlier, I put a layer of quilt batting inside the 2 layers of the canvas and the cotton here. So it's nice and soft, so I love it, and it gives some stability to the covers. So I just think it's so fun, and like I said, I'm just so thrilled because I've been waiting for so long to do this, so I'm really happy. Okay, I wanted to show you first, I did a little watercolor recently of a little baby bird, and this is a copy of that watercolor, and I think it just turned out really sweet. So yesterday, or maybe the day before, I made a little card using my bird, and it's some scrapbook paper back here with some stamping on it, and then this is a piece of corrugated cardboard that I put some gesso on and then did a little stamping. This is some bits of a napkin, floral napkin, and this is a little piece of tissue paper back here with the green leaves, and then I just put my little bird on top. And you can see I picked some of the paper off of that cardboard so that it shows through. I think that looks fun. And then I stuck this little word on here. So what I did was I made a copy of this, and I think I'm going to put that on the front of my book, on this front page of my book. All right, so here's my copy, and I'm going to put it here because I just think that would be such a sweet little opening for my book. Got a piece of scrapbook paper with a floral pattern. I'm gonna tuck that behind there like this, and I just think that looks so cute. Just very sweet. Okay, so I just need to get a little bit of glue. Some stuff in my way here. Just get my glue stick ready, and I'll put this down. I figured I'd already done all of that work. Why not just make a copy of that card to put in my journal? I mean, I could make it again, but I've already made it, so figured, why do that, right? All right, I think this is about the right spot, right about where I had it. Yeah, that looks pretty good. Okay. I'm gonna press it down. Get my little baby wipe for my fingers. Okay. And then I'm going to do the same thing with this one. Just glue it right down to the page. Okay. Stand up so that I can get this straight here. I do have lines on this page, so that'll help. That'll help me get it straight. Here we go. All right. I love it already. Okay. Now I'll be able to you know, maybe stick some little washi tapes here and there. In fact, I might go ahead and do that. Let's see. I've got some, you know, that's a little bit too similar. Let's see. Maybe I'll use a little bit of this grid, a little bit of a brown grid. It's funny putting the grid tape on the grid paper. But look how cute, that adds so much to it. So I'm going to put one over here too, I think. Maybe, I'll go this way. And then I think I'll put one more on the side over here. There we go. Now, if that doesn't look like the cutest little scrapbooky type of journal page, I don't know what does. I love it. It is so simple. Now, I know I already had a piece of artwork ready, but you can do the same thing with, you know, like a magazine image or a photograph, a nature photograph. Say you've taken some beautiful, you know, pictures of beautiful flowers or birds or any kind of nature. That's exactly what you can put there in exactly the same kind of way. So I think that's awesome. I love it. Okay, and then let's see. Oh, I wanted to show you. I made a sweet little tag, and all it is a white cardstock that I covered with napkin. And I attached a little piece of this same cotton lace that I used for the tie, and I just stapled it to the top. And this is a little piece of muslin that I stamped the word nature on. So I will need to tuck in somewhere. I did glue my pocket down a while ago. So it can be tucked inside like this. I may not leave it there. I may put one of those clear pockets like I used in my other book. And that way we'll be able to see the title there. I think that would be really cool. I know that I have some pictures that I want to put in this little journal. I don't have them printed out and ready yet, but I was thinking I could go ahead and just make some of the pages ready for the pictures once I get them printed. So I'm going to tear out some just some brown paper here, some book paper I can do kind of in the same way. Oh, this paper's so old, it's brittle. I just thought it would be fun to layer up some papers and washi tapes and things and get this ready to go. All right, so I'm gonna tear this off here, and then a little bit off the bottom. Okay, so that'll be cute to start with, and I'll probably maybe put washi along here, or you know, another type of paper or something. So let's just go ahead and glue those down because I like that. And I want this to be a book that I can just put things in quickly and not have to spend a whole lot of time thinking, and just make it fun and easy instead of a chore. I don't want it to be a chore. I want it to be lots of fun. Okay, I think I'm going to put this piece of ribbon here. I like that. And just let it hang down off the edge of the page. There at the bottom. It's really sweet with pretty flowers on it. Love it. Okay, I'm going to use some of my Fabrifix to stick that down. This is a piece of printer paper that I had made some tea stain. I made a real dark brew of tea. It was kind of accidental, actually. I forgot it was brewing. And I let the tea bag sit in that water for a couple hours, and it was, oh my gosh, this tea. But I really liked it because it dyed some, let's see, it dyed some index cards really nicely. The dark tea did. And so after I had dyed a few things with the tea by itself, I added a little bit of green food coloring, and I got a pretty green color. So this started out as white, like just like printer paper, and it came out this nice green color. And the brown you see on here is where I splashed some of the darker tea onto the paper, and gave it a little bit of character, you know. But it's really cool because the edges of the paper are real nice dark green, and they did that, you know, by themselves. It kind of just wicked out to the edges. I like that. So I had that, and I wanted to show you this little, this was a punch, also punched out of printer paper. You know how sometimes you find out that a punch will work better if you put another sheet of paper along with the paper you're trying to punch to make it work right. And so I was punching some of these, and one particular paper didn't want to punch really well, so I stuck a piece of printer paper under there and I punched. So every time I punched that paper, I got a piece of printer paper too. And then rather than throwing them away because they were just plain white, I kept them, and then I realized, hey, I could dye those. So I did that. And on this one, you can see the color with the green food coloring. And then on this, I also added some of the Fresh Lime Dilutions ink from the spray bottle. I added a little of that in with it, so it made it a really nice, vibrant green. So I think I'm gonna put that here, like this at the bottom, but I'm not gonna glue down the top portion of it in case, like if I put a photo here, I have to tuck it behind. And I think that'll be a nice way to do that, to be able to still slide a picture behind there. So I'm going to just put it on the bottom leaves and the very bottom piece of the stem, maybe a tiny bit of the stem above those leaves too. Sorry about my voice, you guys. It's just the same sinus issues that I always deal with. Okay. So I think just for protection, I'm going to put some of this repositionable adhesive on the top leaf. Just a little bit to stick it down some, but it'll be able to be lifted up again when I need to, or if I need to. There we go. Because I'm afraid it'll get beat up, you know, knocked around or something. Anyway, isn't that cute? I love that. All right, and now I want to just kind of frame out the page. Let's see, maybe some green. Which green do I want? I've got a little paper over here. Let me try the darker one. See if I like it any better. Yeah, I like the lighter one, I think. May come in with something else later, but I just want to put a little bit of a little border around, you know, not anything major, just to frame out the page. I love things that are just so simple and easy like this, that you don't have to be worried and concerned about. Just do it and have fun, you know. Okay, got a brown, like a fine, this is a micron like the little black one I used, but this one is brown. Yeah, this one's brown. And I'm going to just put a tiny bit of a different line here just to kind of help that border show up a little bit more. There we go. That looks better already. There's the little border. All right. So I think that is so fun. So like I said, I'm going to be coming back and doing more work on the pages in my book and adding some photos and maybe some pressed flowers and things that I've been hanging on to for a while now because I was waiting for this journal to come about, and so finally it has. I'm going to set this aside for just a minute because I want to show you what I have done. I made 10 of these little albums, all exactly the same. And I'm going to have these in my Etsy store for sale very soon. Let me show you what's inside, just so you're aware of everything that's included. Okay, so the book is exactly as I showed you, with all the same papers inside. The scrapbook page could vary. I didn't have enough of that one particular brown one, but it's the other side of the page, and so it looks a tiny bit different, but it's not majorly different. Like, see, it's still got the florally look and everything to it. So I still think it's wonderful. It's still got the nice botanical look, and everything else is exactly the same. Okay, so along with the journal is a little bag, a little goodie bag. There's a paper clip with a little bit of the inside fabric tied to the top of the clip, and it's fraying and raggedy, but just so charming. Just love that word because it just fits this little book so well. So there's that included. This is a sticky note, and it's a leaf, and it's the front of a leaf and the back side of a leaf, which I think is kind of cool, and I have a kind of a neat idea that I'm going to do with that when I get to that in my book. So let me move this out of the way so I can show you all of the goodies inside the bag. All right, so you get the bag, which can be altered. You can cover it, with tissue papers or napkins or anything you want to do. I did include a tag for you that's already been made, and it is it's backed with some white cardstock, so it's nice and sturdy. And it's got the little printed muslin also for you. Okay, there's a guest check. Actually, there's 2 guest checks in here, which can be covered in, or a napkin or tissue paper bits added to it, which looks really cool. I may do some of that myself when I get to that part of my book. Okay, there's the green tissue paper, like what I used on my little birdie card. So these tissue paper bits right here behind the bird, that is this tissue paper right here. Okay. There's another tissue paper. I love this. I love this especially for a small journal because it's got a small print on it. I love all the wildflowers and bits, and even the background has tiny, tiny little leafy images, and I just love it. Okay, so there's a piece of that tissue paper. Just flip this over. Here we go. Okay, here's a napkin, piece of a napkin that has gorgeous butterflies on it. Okay, here's another gorgeous piece of a napkin, and look how well it blended. It matches with the colors of the journal. I love that. It was amazing when I found that in my stash. I was like, oh my goodness, it matches so nice. Okay, so there's that. And then there's a couple of pieces of note paper that are, to me, they're just very organic looking and kind of make me think of leaves. But they're like a grayish color. Okay, here's a piece of the green dyed paper, tea-dyed index card with the grid on it. Here's a pink avocado dyed index card. Okay, tea-dyed note paper with floral designs on it. The one side has, it's hard to see, one side has a purple and a yellow flower on the corner, and the other side has a little rose image on the back, and that's tea stained also. This one is the white version of that page. You can see what the flowers and all look like a little bit better there. I mean, they're very visible even on the tea stain. It's just that I don't know if the camera is picking it up very well. Okay, this is a little tag from a tag book with some plants on it. Here's one of the green leafy punches like I showed you just now that I put in my book. And I also have some that are scrapbook paper punched. Okay, so we have a little bit of variations of greens, and hopefully that'll match, you know, whatever you're working with on your particular page. Here's a very small little doily. You can see how tiny that is. I love it. It's very delicate and sweet. Okay, and here's a avocado dyed tag. It's a small tag, and I stamped a little ant on the bottom there. I think that's very sweet. All right, here's a piece of the same lace from the book, only I avocado dyed it, so it's pink. So awesome. And this pink is so much prettier in person than it looks like on camera. Okay, and here's another, here's a piece of the ribbon that I just used in my book that's got all the colorful flowers on it. I love that ribbon. Okay, so all of that will come in your book, in your kit, and I hope you will create along with me. I mean, I couldn't include every single thing that I may or may not be putting in my album, but I wanted to include enough items to get you started, and some of the things that I will be using so that you can, you know, do something similar if you want, or use it in whatever way you want to interpret it. You know, it's completely up to you. But I just think it'll be a fun little project, and I don't have any specific time of, you know, any particular day of the week or anything like that I'm going to be working in this journal, but I guarantee you I will be working in this journal. I have been planning it for so long, there's no way I'm going to not work in this journal. So I wanted to just let you know that this is going to be available in my Etsy shop on Saturday, this Saturday the 9th. At 12 noon. I'll have these going up then. So any of you that are interested, you know, come and check it out. And even if you don't purchase one of these albums, these little journals, gather something together and just make yourself a little journal. It doesn't have to be fabric, and you can put any kind of papers you want to in it. The idea is just to get a book and create in it. And nature is such an awesome thing, and it's so easy to, you know, go outside and snap a picture, you know, of something gorgeous just in your own yard, and to gather a couple of leaves and bring them in and press them in a book and attach them in your journal. And especially these days we're experiencing right now where we're all at home, and I'm sure you're venturing outside in your yard or walking in your neighborhood or something, and so being able to document that, this is the kind of thing you want to use to document that very thing. So anyways, guys, thanks for spending some time with me today and letting me share with you what I've been working really hard on. And I hope that you will start a nature journal and play along with me, and we'll just create some more together. So thanks so much, and we'll see you again soon. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye.